Hello Internet, Magic Man here from MMOBomb.com bringing you another first look video, and this time it's Marvel Snap, the collectible card game brought to you by Second Dinner, headed by Brode and, of OG Hearthstone fame. So we're going to see how this free-to-play mobile and PC card game stacks up, and if it's something worth playing for you. If you like this type of content, make sure you give us a like, a subscribe, turn on those notifications, and of course, come on over to MMOBomb.com. Make sure you leave reviews and rate your favorite and least favorite games so for your fellow gamers, and check out all the other videos and weekly podcasts we've got going on there. We'd love to have you. I've got pros and cons for this game. Now, there's a few disclaimers like I gotta put on this stuff. First off, I hate the PC user interface, as you can see here. Obviously, being cross-progression and cross-play between PC and mobile, it's got a very mobile-looking interface, and you can't change this right now. That said, it is in early access technically on the PC. The team does know that they're working on a PC interface for the actual launch of the PC version of the game, but the game's available. You can go play it. It's not resetting or anything like that. This probably, in my book, should have been done earlier. I hate how much wasted space there is. And there's going to be a lot of little nitpicky pros and cons as we go through here. So let's take a look at some gameplay first, and then we'll get through some of the progression, how the free-to-play monetization works, and all of that fun stuff. You're going to create a deck of 12 cards, and there's no duplicates. You just create a deck of 12 random cards for your different Marvel heroes that you like, and yeah, you can sync up abilities, and maybe there'll be a little bit of a meta as we go on here. However, there is quite a bit of randomness in the game that can be both awesome and supremely frustrating. So it's kind of a pro and a con. What are we looking at here? Well, the center of the board picks 3 random locations that you and your opponent are going to fight over. On turn 1 of 6, the first location is visible, and any effect that comes with that location is visible as well. The second or center location you will find revealed on turn 2, and the third or rightmost location will be revealed on turn 3. That doesn't stop you from playing cards at any of those 3 locations right off the bat. You just don't know if you're walking into a good effect or a bad effect based on what cards you may have put there. The name of the game is Control. At the end of 6 turns, 2 out of 3 of those locations by having more power. Power, looking at the cards, is the upper right-hand number, and the cost is the upper left-hand number. That's all you need to know. You can place up to 4 cards at each location. Everybody's power at that location gets totaled up, as you can see above and below those center locations. You can see who's winning at any given moment, provided there isn't an effect that would hide that from you, because yes, there are 80+ different locations, many of which have wild effects, including making you draw from your opponent's deck, swapping cards from your hands. It's all kinds of RNG, not just in what the locations are, but in what those effects may end up doing to you. Now, with a deck of 12 cards, there are times, because games are so fast, in under 3 minutes, it's very snappy. They are so fast, there may be times you just don't see the better cards in your deck that you might be planning to build around, or the locations just physically cripple your deck. There's lots of RNG elements like that that can affect the gameplay. So yeah, you may like that when you're winning, and you may hate that when somebody pulls a wild play with one ability and you just get smacked across the board. Speaking of abilities, cards sometimes have abilities. Those may be things like when a card is played or revealed, do X, and it'll automatically do this for you. Don't think Magic the Gathering or Final Fantasy TCG or anything like with a stack. Both players here are playing simultaneously. You lock in your turn, they lock in their turn, and boom, the board takes care of the rest, and then we go to the next turn. You pay for cards by using that energy in the bottom of the screen for you, and you get 1 per turn, similar to Hearthstone and other Legends of Runeterra and other games like that. Drawback here, that doesn't roll. So you can't, like in Legends of Runeterra, you can't roll that from turn to turn. So if on your second turn you have 2 energy and you're not feeling a particular play, you can have the option of just dumping the turn and not playing anything. But unless it really hinders your strategy or would be harmful the way your opponent is playing, you really don't lose anything by playing something. Again, there will be those times where, since each location can only hold 4 cards on each player, you may not want to play, but don't save up, because it doesn't happen that way. At the end of the 6 turns, whoever controls 2 of the 3 center locations wins the game and is going to win some cosmic cubes. What are cosmic cubes, though? Well, looking at a play screen here, you can see the cosmic cubes on the line in the top center of the screen. There's always 1 on the line, and if games go to 6 turns and end the final turn, that will double into 2. But there's a catch, and where Marvel gets its snap from. You see, if you think you've got your opponent on the ropes, whether that be turn 2 or turn 5, you can go ahead and click that cosmic cube at the top of the screen. That snaps and lets your opponent know, whether you actually can or bluffing, doesn't matter, lets your opponent know, I think I can win, I'm going to put some more cubes on the line. Now the winner is going to take home double, and the loser is going to lose double. Now, these cubes are your primary progression through the ranks: iron, silver, gold, bronze, all that stuff, all the way up to immortal. So there is a drawback for playing a game that somebody has snapped that you're going to lose, in which case you may just want to retreat and lose the current value of cosmic cubes rather than let that double up, particularly if somebody snaps early, as it can double up a couple of turns, and if both players snap, you could end up having as many as 8 cosmic cubes on the line. That's it. You now know how to play. The only thing you want to do now is go read the cards so that you know which ones you might have synergies with and want to pair together, which ones work with various locations, how you can get a aggressive starting hand if you want some low-cost stuff, or changing your deck up to go after certain daily or weekly quests. As your primary progression through the season pass, you definitely want to do those dailies and weeklies whenever you can. And dailies is a little bit of a misnomer because they reset on a shorter timer than day. We'll get to the monetization and progression in just a second. Games themselves last less than 3 minutes if they're played all the way out. Each turn is on a timer, and if by some miracle at the end of the turn you control one location, your opponent controls another, and you drew or nobody took the third location, there will not be a draw. There is a first tiebreaker, and it is the total power on the board. So there is a benefit to wanting just the absolute total power on the board. If there is a tie in locations taken and power total on the board, then the game will result in a draw and nobody loses or gains any cosmic cubes. That's it. You're done. You know how to play. So let's talk about progression, because this is a collectible card game, not a trading card game. You are not going to be buying packs and earning cards like that. Again, that's a pro in no booster pack randomness, but that could be a con too, because the way you do card collection here is RNG based. You're just not buying booster packs or anything like that. To be fair, though, the RNG isn't so bad because the progression system is going to give you cards you don't have in your collection. But if you are looking for a particular card, it could be pretty aggravating time and time again not getting that. So let's take a look at how we enhance that. First, we take a look at the actual season rankings, and you don't have to worry about losing cosmic cubes until you hit at least iron. By winning matches and gaining cosmic cubes, you will move up through the ranks. You will earn some rewards, including credits along the way. Credits is not the cash shop currency, though. We'll come back to that when we talk about the shop. All right, taking a look at missions. You will have missions that refill on a timer. Of course, you can use the gold bar cash shop currency to refresh those missions. And then you will have your season missions. When you first start off, you'll be doing these Recruit Season 1, Chapter 1, and Chapter 2 quests, earning the pink icon there, which is the experience on your season pass. Now, you don't have to pay for any of that. You'll get all of the rewards for achieving those quests and that recruit season pass progression. However, once you complete the recruit season pass, which is 20 levels, and earn all the rewards for doing so, you then open up the actual paid season pass that has a free track and a premium track. That premium track is $9.99. There is a more expensive bundle if you want some tiers unlocked, as is customary in most of these free-to-play models. But it should be noted that season pass, and this is a con for me, is not purchased with cash shop currency. It is a straight cash purchase of $9.99 or more if you buy tiers on top of the actual season pass. So while the season pass progression will end up, and other progressions that we'll get to, will end up giving you both credits and gold bar rewards, you cannot use those currencies to buy the season pass, the premium version of the season pass. That has to be a cash shop purchase. So yeah, you get currency in the pass, but it's not straight cash, homie, which is the only thing you can buy the season pass with. A little bit of a turnoff for me. I like games that maybe you shell out for the first one, and if you are, like, that's your go-to game and you grind the hell out of it, you get a lot of currency and can almost, if not fully, make the next season pass free. You can't do that here. $10 is $10. So how do you unlock cards then if you're not buying packs or anything like that? Well, this is something I actually do like about Marvel Snap, besides it being annoying to try and get a card you absolutely want. And we'll talk about that in a second because the team is considering a feature later to kind of help with that. It's all about upgrading your cards. You see, when you win a game of Marvel Snap, you're going to be given random booster currency for any card you own. You don't get to choose. It just takes a card that you own, and it gives you booster currency. Once you've achieved enough booster currency for, let's say, Sentinel, you can use a portion of credits that you have farmed up and those boosters for Sentinel that you have farmed up, and upgrade him from common to rare, or rare to legendary, all the way up the chain. Now, you don't have to worry about cost or power or their abilities changing when you upgrade a card. It's simply a cosmetic upgrade. It'll go from being a regular card to a frame-broken card, where the art exceeds the borders of the frame. Upgrade it again, and it'll go to 3D. Upgrade it again, and it'll go to an animated 3D version. And all of these cards also have variant art, purely cosmetic, that cycles in and out of the regular cash shop. Gold bars, being the cash shop currency, is primarily what you will use to buy those. Now, you can't buy specific cards, but I should note that there is an exception there for a couple of cards that come with the premium season pass, and a little bundle for like $3 that has a couple of cards in it that rotate as well in the cash shop. So you can get some specific cards for cash, and cash purchases can help you upgrade faster by giving you plenty of credits on the line on your account at any given time. And the cash shop does have a rotating every 8 hours or so. 3 cards you own will let you boost it if you want to spend the credits to do so right away. But again, that's random. So yeah, it means that you can buy gold bars, which you can then translate into credits. So a buyer technically can open their card collection by upgrading cards at a faster clip than a free-to-play player. But that doesn't necessarily come with them being more powerful. It means they'll unlock cards faster than you by achieving a higher collection level faster because they can upgrade cards, but they are limited by how often they can do that, with every couple of hours only 3 cards being able to have their booster capped off by using credits instead of actually playing the game and earning boosters. So I do like that I guess technically you can get a little edge on your collection if you want to pay some cash, but it doesn't actually coincide to you are 100% going to have a better collection. Again, with all the randomness in the game, it also doesn't, lend itself to, hey, there is an absolute in and out meta here. Well, that's probably not the case since most of the locations are randomly generated and things. The card collection track itself is another progression meter. Every time you upgrade cards, you'll get a couple of points or a couple of levels on your collection meter. This is not like the season pass or anything like that that resets at a certain time. You're just going to go all the way through that until you have achieved all of your booster rewards, all of your random card rewards. Again, they will be cards that you don't have in your collection, so you won't be getting duplicates, which is good because there is no disenchant and create system going on here. You don't have any of that stuff. Make your way through the progression and gather your cards. Cool. Unfortunately, you just won't know what cards you're getting until you get them, and maybe it's one you wanted, and maybe it's one that you didn't. When you break it all down, though, Marvel Snap's got a little bit of an addictive thing going on. If you're a Marvel fan, obviously some of this art is probably pretty cool, and some of the variant art where you see 8-bit or chibi or different effects for Marvel heroes and villains like that, it's got to be pretty cool to see for Marvel fans. If you're really not into the whole Marvel vibe, and I personally am not, it really doesn't add to or detract for me personally. I don't care. I just like card games. There is an addictiveness here. It is infuriating at times, the amount of randomness that happens due to the locations and sometimes the effects of cards. But there is that kind of, I want to play one more. But what I couldn't tell was exactly how many bots I was playing against. You see, when you get an opponent, you don't have any option. It just queues you up, and you'll start making ranked progress through your meter. I couldn't tell at some points if I was playing against an actual player or if I was playing against a bot. While you'll see me in the footage use the emote system in the upper left by clicking on your avatar and using various emotes and quick chat items like that, there is no other way to communicate. And I never once had a player, after 5 or 6 hours of playing, actually reply back to one of those. And I think in my, 50 matches or so, I only lost 2. So there is that dopamine thing going on where I'm constantly unlocking things and hitting notifications, and I am enjoying the game. But looking at some of the moves my opponent was doing, I was like, this has to be a bot. Nobody would make that play. Nobody would play a card on an empty location that got a buff if the very next turn you played a card at that same location, and then with no downside, failed to play a card at that location. Just very weird stuff. One big pet peeve of mine, and we lambasted Magic Arena for this when it first went into early access / launch. There is no way to play friends. Not yet. And now these are all things that the game, of course, can work out. The PC UI, the ability to, through what they are going to, I think, call collector's tokens, put a little bit of a rotation of cards in the cash shop with these collector's tokens that you can kind of save up. And then when you see the card you do really want and have been trying to farm, go buy. Those types of things can be worked out over time, and obviously a friends list to play against your friends is something they can add over time. This is launched on mobile, and this is in early access, basically launched on PC. These types of features for me absolutely should have been here already. These are the basics that a card game launching on the PC should have. All in all, I don't know how long I'm going to play Marvel Snap. One, I couldn't get a gauge on how many actual humans I was playing, so I don't know if I'm just really damn good at the game or the bots were terrible, right? Having a record of 48-2 after your first 50 matches is kind of absurd. Building the decks are easy. Some of the cards and the animations are a lot of fun. The game is certainly easy to pick up, and if it's, while you're sitting on the toilet or on the bus, having a 3-minute match, is going to be a huge appeal for a lot of people and is an appeal for me too. That said, I think the game might lack the depth that I'm looking for in my particular style of favorite card games. And that's okay. The game doesn't have to cater to what exactly I am looking for to be a well-done card game that Marvel fans enjoy. But I think it does need a little more depth than it currently has. We'll have to see what the team does over the coming months. Hope you like this first look for Marvel Snap. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Until next time, gang, this is Magic Man from MMOBomb.com saying stay safe, and we'll see you on the servers.